All right, everybody, welcome back. Ready for another deep dive.
Let's do it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So today we're going to be diving into something that's really relevant to everyone, no matter if you're making content or just consuming it.
Right.
Video engagement.
That's right.
Like, what makes us actually stick around and keep watching a video and not just scroll on to the next one?
Yeah, because there's a lot of competition out there for our eyeballs.
So much stuff to watch these days.
It's overwhelming.
And what's crazy is one of the sources we were looking at said, we make up our minds in the first 10 seconds.
Seriously?
Yeah, like 10 seconds to hook someone.
10 seconds. Wow.
That's it. That's all you got.
It's not a lot of time.
I know. So that got me thinking about the hooks, right?
Yeah.
The different ways you can actually grab someone's attention and make them want to keep watching. And they talked about 4 different types.
Okay.
So like the first one is posing an engaging question, right?
Okay, so like making me curious.
Exactly. Exactly like something that you just got to know the answer to.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that.
And then they talked about using a bold statement or like some
Yeah.
kind of surprising fact.
Okay, so like shock value.
Yeah, like something that disrupts your expectations and makes you kind of lean in and be like, wait, what?
Gotcha. Like busting a myth or something.
Totally. And then there's the good old relatable story.
Oh, yeah. Stories are powerful.
That human connection, right? It just pulls you in.
It's like we're wired for them.
And then the last one is the exciting clip teaser.
Ooh, like a sneak peek?
Yeah, like showing a little snippet of what's to come to kind of get you excited.
Classic movie trailer move.
Exactly. Like, think about movie trailers. They really know how to use those hooks.
Yeah, they do. It's all about making you want to see what happens next.
Exactly. And it's not just movies, right? This applies to any type of video, like that viral video you saw last week that everyone was talking about. Think about the beginning. What was it about those first few seconds that grabbed you?
Yeah, that's a good point, I guess. It's like they really honed in on one of those hooks and just nailed the execution, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So let's say you've got someone hooked. Now, how do you actually keep them engaged?
Right, because the hard part is making them stick around.
That's the real challenge. And one of the things that our sources talked about is using what they call pattern interrupts.
Pattern interrupts.
I know it sounds kind of technical.
Yeah, a little.
But think of it like this. It's like adding spices to a dish, little changes that keep things interesting.
Okay.
You know, like if you're watching a video and it's just a static shot for 5 minutes, even if the content's good, you're going to get bored.
Yeah, for sure.
But if they throw in like some B-roll footage or they change the camera angle or,
Or the music changes.
Yeah, the music changes. It kind of wakes you up a little bit.
Right. It's like keeps your brain engaged.
Exactly. And it's kind of like storytelling too, right?
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
Yeah.
Like those little cliffhangers that keep you reading.
Exactly. It's about keeping the story moving.
Which is why you need a good structure, even if it's a short video.
Right. Like even a 15-second TikTok can have a beginning, middle, and end.
Totally. And it just feels more satisfying as a viewer if there's that kind of arc to the video.
Yeah, it feels complete.
Like you've been on a little journey.
Totally.
So it seems like there's a lot more to video engagement than just making something look good.
Absolutely. And one of our sources had this whole list of engagement techniques.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, and I was going through them, and some of them I was like, I don't know about that.
Like what?
Like asking questions. Does that really work? Like, is someone really going to stick around just because you ask them a question?
I think it depends on the question, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Like if it's a question that actually makes me think or, makes me want to share my own experience, then yeah, I might stick around to see what other people are saying.
That's true. So it's not just about getting an answer. It's about like sparking that internal dialogue.
Right, exactly. Like making me feel like I'm part of the conversation.
Okay, I can see that. What about humor?
Humor.
Yeah, it feels like every video these days tries to be funny.
Yeah, it's a tough one because humor is so subjective, right?
Totally.
Like what I find funny, you might find cringy.
Exactly.
So I think it has to be authentic. Like it has to fit with the tone of the video and the creator's personality.
Right. Like you can't force it.
It's like trying too hard to do the class clown. It just falls flat.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, so what about relatable scenarios?
Relatable scenario.
Yeah, like showing those everyday situations that people can connect with.
Oh, yeah, I see what you mean.
But doesn't that sometimes feel a little cliche?
It can, but I think if it's done well, it can actually be really effective.
Okay.
Because it's like you're saying, hey, I get you. I've been there too.
Right.
And it makes people feel seen and understood.
So it's about striking that balance between shared experience and, actual insights. Okay, that makes sense. All right, so we've talked about hooks. We've talked about storytelling. We've talked about engagement techniques. Let's get a little bit technical for a second and talk about data.
Ooh, data.
I know it can be a little intimidating,
Yeah, they do.
but our sources were saying that even just looking at basic viewer retention graphs can be super helpful.
Okay. And what are those exactly?
Basically, it's a visual representation of how many people are watching your video at any given time.
Okay.
So you can actually see where people are dropping off.
Interesting.
Like if you see a steep decline at a certain point, that's like a red flag.
Oh, I see. Like it's telling you something's not working.
Exactly. It's like having a map that shows you the weak points in your video.
That's a great analogy.
And the cool thing is anyone can access this data.
Really?
Yeah, whether you're like a big YouTuber or just someone who's posted videos for fun.
So I could even use this for my like family videos.
Totally, totally. It's all about understanding how people are interacting with your content.
That's really empowering.
It is. It's like having a secret weapon for improvement,
I like that.
right? Okay, so speaking of things to avoid, our sources had a whole section on common mistakes that people make.
Oh, like what?
Okay, some of them are almost comically bad,
Okay.
like info overload.
Info overload.
Ever watch a video where they're just throwing so much information at you all at once?
Oh, yeah. It's like drinking from a fire hose.
Exactly. Your brain can only handle so much, especially in like a fast-paced video.
Totally.
And then there's the classic long intro.
Uh-huh.
You know, those videos that take forever to get to the point.
Yeah, I usually skip those.
I know, me too. I'm like, just get to it already.
It's all about respecting the viewer's time.
Exactly. And then the last one is the broken promise.
Broken promise.
Like if you hook me with something amazing in the beginning, but then you don't deliver.
Ooh, yeah, that's frustrating.
I know, right? It's like you lied to me.
And it makes you less likely to trust that creator in the future.
Absolutely. So it's really important to be mindful of those things.
Okay, so it seems like there's a lot to think about when it comes to making engaging videos.
There is, but it's also really exciting because once you understand these principles, you can really start to create content that people actually want to watch.
And even if you're not a creator, just knowing about these things can make you a more savvy viewer.
Absolutely.
Like you can start to notice those hooks and those techniques and really appreciate the craft that goes into making a good video.
Totally. It's like anything else. The more you understand it, the more you can appreciate it.
Exactly.
So as we wrap up today, I want to leave you with a little challenge.
Okay.
Think about the most captivating videos you've watched recently. The ones that you just couldn't tear your eyes away from. What was it about those videos that pulled you in?
Yeah, like what were those moments that really grabbed your attention?
And what techniques did those creators use? Were they using engaging questions? Were they telling relatable stories? Were they using humor?
And can you try those techniques yourself?
Exactly. Whether you're making content or just watching it, understanding video engagement is a superpower.
Totally agree.
All right, that's all the time we have for today's deep dive.
Until next time.
See ya.